It's just a lot of weird shit. The guy's obviously got some kind of issues. Anyways, there it is.
All right, welcome to Caffeine and Kilos. Wait, wrong thing. Welcome to Gas Station Cappuccino by Caffeine and Kilos.
What did you say?
Welcome to Caffeine and Kilos.
Yeah, same thing.
I was pumped up. Deep Sedoris is next to me. I'm Danny Lear, and we are here with another rip-roaring episode of Gas Station Cappuccino.
Rip-roaring for sure.
Speaking of which, I'm a little upset that, Dean, you actually went and got the old Gas Station Cappuccino suicide.
Oh, a while back?
Yeah, there's a video of it on IGTV of you going and getting that.
Yeah, go ahead and check that out.
Doing the suicide.
It's really captivating.
I still want to do it. And you did it when I was gone, just mainly because you thought it'd be funny to do it when I was gone.
That was part of it. Plus, we were just like, we needed to do a video, and we were like, let's just go do it now. It's one of those things.
I might just do one on my way home today.
Honestly, it's so funny. It wasn't that bad.
Well, I'm sure it's not. Like,
it just tastes like sugar.
Right. Well, I would probably go light on the mocha and light on the white mocha, but then when I get to the...
They're all flavors, though. There's only like one that's not flavored, so it's just going to all taste like sugar.
You can't do like the high octane?
The high voltage is like, it's there, but it's like...
So I would try and go like 70% high voltage.
Okay, but then it's not a suicide. Then it's like, yeah, I guess it is, but it's like a... you got to go like equal parts.
Equal parts? Yeah.
To get the full thing.
I purchased from Perfect Bar. You ever eat the Perfect Bars?
I actually had one the other day.
They are so good.
Yeah.
We get them. Costco sells sells a pack, whatever, for a pretty good deal. And Nora eats them.
Yeah, those are great.
My daughter eats
the ones you got to
so
keep refrigerated.
Yeah. So they say they're good for like a week not being refrigerated, so it's not like a big deal, but you just kind of keep them in the fridge. They taste better when they're cold, I think.
They do, yeah.
They hold together a little better.
It's the texture. They have a good texture.
Great texture. So... our good friend James posted about the salted caramel flavor.
I haven't had that one yet.
And
But
so,
I kind of stick to the peanut butter ones with those.
The peanut butter is so good. Actually, I like the chocolate ones too.
Almond butter one too.
The almond butter's alright. I like the peanut butter and I like the chocolate ones. So I asked James, like, salted caramel, that's like my favorite flavor of... Like, if we're going to get ice cream and this place has like a salted caramel, that's what I'm getting. Like, no question. And so, those any good? Like, where do I haven't seen those yet. He goes, oh, dude, you can only buy them online. It's a limited release. They're available to buy for like 3 more days.
Oh, wow.
And so I went online and bought them.
Wow. So they're probably just feeling it out.
Well, I think they do that. Yeah, maybe.
Or just to keep something limited, just to make a little call to action.
Right. And so I think they do that often is they come out with a limited flavor. Or yeah, so I think it's 2 things. I think, one, they're trying it out, seeing if people like it. If they get a great response and people love it, maybe they bring it back full time. Or it's just, in the meantime, it's just a limited run of it. You just kind of do them, and then when they're gone, you know?
Yeah.
But, so those came in yesterday. I was pretty pumped. And they're pretty good.
Does it taste like your standard fake caramel, salty thing?
Well, that's the good thing about Perfect Bars. They never taste... By the way, they have no idea we're doing this. Like, this is not sponsored by Perfect Bar or anything.
There's no sponsors, except for us.
Caffeine Kills. They have no... they don't have fake sugars in them. So they never taste like fake sugar.
I guess, yeah, huh?
But
like, you ever had that salted caramel Halo Top?
Oh, yeah.
That's trash.
That's not very good.
No, not good.
No.
It tastes like sugar alcohol, because that's what those are.
I was on a Halo Top kick for a while. Now it's been a long time.
Well, you realize, like, they're just not very good.
Well, yeah. Also, it's what am I following nutrition-wise? Like, if I'm just following a macros diet, then it's easy. Like, I'll pick up some Enlightened or some Halo Tops because...
Enlightened's way better.
Just pick them up because it fits in your macros, so why not type thing. But then if I'm just, like right now I'm not eating the macros necessarily, it's more of like a food quality diet. So since I'm doing more of the focusing on the quality and less on hitting the macros specifically.
Would you call a food quality diet even a diet? Shouldn't that just be eating?
Well, calling any of it's a diet is only has that connotation because people use it with that connotation.
You're using the word diet as purpose, eating with purpose.
Correct. Well, like anything you eat, like you could be on a diet of whatever, Red Bulls and chips. Like that doesn't mean it's a diet now has a connotation of something you do in order to lose weight, but really your diet is just what your meals consist of.
Yeah, I'm on a Ben & Jerry's Dorito diet.
That's dope.
No, that'd be nice though. That'd be living the dream.
Living the dream.
Like we were talking about earlier, just the living on the road. long
long haul trucker.
long haul trucker life.
Oh, the CB radios.
With the CB, with the Ben and Jerry's, just the experience on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would definitely be your diet if you were on the road.
yeah,
That's what we were kind of talking about, right? It's just like being on the road, just eating just junk for like 2 years,
Like,
just to totally experience just the life on the road, eating whatever you want, just not taking care of yourself, just going full, just don't give an F.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is it sounds awful for a way to live your entire life.
Yeah.
It sounds wonderful for a 2-year stint.
Yeah. Maybe shorter, who knows?
Yeah.
You probably feel really terrible.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing too of like going on tour, like you're in a rock band or something, or like you're on tour, that rock star lifestyle. Like, man, I'll tell you what, that would get old. Like, I couldn't imagine doing that for 10 years, 20 years.
Well, yeah,
right?
with anything, right?
But
Once it becomes a norm, it's not fun anymore.
Exactly. You go like 1 year, you do like that type of a thing for like a year. Oh, I mean, come on.
And then
Everything's fun until it's normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Until it's not anymore.
That's true.
And then you have the real consequences that eventually come along with those actions.
Yeah. Speaking of...
A really interesting interview with actually Travis Barker was on Joe Rogan. And it was pretty interesting.
Oh, that was new.
Yeah, it's a new one. Relatively.
Yeah, was he talking about Blink-182 days?
Not a ton, but a little bit. But it was just, a little bit. A lot of times stories or asked questions and things came up. It's like, oh man, one time we were whatever in Germany on this trip and whatever. Talking about taping weed to his nuts for flights.
Oh, nice.
And stuff. I mean, then all of a sudden they realize they're in like, I don't remember exactly, it might have been Iraq or something. And they're like, oh dude, by the way, like, you should look on that notice back of your passport. Like, if you got caught smuggling drugs in, like, it's death penalty. I'm out to keep that gafting tape secured.
Oh.
Yeah.
A little bit of weed and you end up in Iraqi prison for 20 years.
Dude, apparently.
God.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily your run-of-the-mill environment.
Well, Singapore, I believe, is if you get caught selling drugs, it's death penalty. Like for their citizens,
and there's probably no death row. It's probably like the next weekend.
Oh yeah, it's like death penalty. Like once that's determined as what's going on, like you're gonna be hung in the public square. I think they still do like public hangings.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm not positive about that. If you're from Singapore, it's nothing personal. I don't hate the country or anything. That was my understanding that they still do that occasionally.
That's wild.
Or maybe all the time. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do your own research before you go and tell people it's fact.
Or you just
or tell them it's fact. Whatever.
They won't know any better.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man. I wonder what in my next life when I get reincarnated, maybe it'll be long haul trucker.
Long haul trucker, just chugging down the highway.
Just chugging down the Mountain Dews
with a big gulp and a bag of.
Well, jerky. If you have any memories from your previous life when you're in your reincarnated life, hopefully, then what I would like to believe is I would be chugging down a bunch of gas station cappuccinos. They're going to suicides.
Suicides. That's just your thing. That's just
what you do.
It's just coffee.
It's just coffee. Instead of like, no, like you push away the no-dos, right? Mm-hmm. You steer clear of the no-dos and just go gas station, cappuccino, suicides.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be the move.
That's definitely the move.
Speaking of like the road, I've been told this could be another wrong statement, but I heard they're not really doing the traveling open announcements this year.
Right, correct. So I read about this. So there are still going to be open announcements, but they're not the big dog and pony show.
It's gonna be like at HQ.
I think. Well, no, not even. So Greg, from what I understand, there's a quote from where basically it said we're not going to be as cute with it this year, right? It's like they're not going to go to one gym, get an audience, get an announcer,
spend 100 G's,
fly in 2 of the or 4 of the top athletes from around the world, like
hiring all those equipment crew and cameras and day rates, and all of a sudden you're $100,000 in.
Yep, and do that 5 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
So they're not doing that anymore. But there still will be. So they said they'll be like simultaneous, like they're gonna like simulcast. So if you go to the CrossFit Games website, you'll be able to view the different release announcements, whatever. But it's just like at Johnny's gym, like just some dude at his gym will, and still be like high level athletes. So it's like, if you got a gym and you got a couple athletes that maybe are on the cusp of making the games or like previous games or whatever, And so they'll, I don't know how it's going to be announced, but then there will be like live footage of people immediately doing the workouts.
Oh, cool.
But they said there'll be like multiple at a time. So there might be like 3 different streams, so at 3 different gyms around the world of people doing the workout all together at the Open.
Awesome.
Which is cool.
Yeah. Very interesting. Also,
I wonder what signups are going to be like for the Open.
Yeah. No, that's something I was thinking about lately. Is I wonder, with this new structure, right, of no regionals, no all that kind of stuff, right, that goes along with that. What's the incentive to pay the $20 to sign up this year?
Well, here's the thing.
If you're not going to be number one.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby. Well, here's the thing: is most people, you figure 95% of the people that sign up for the Open had zero hope of going to regionals anyway.
That's true.
So it really shouldn't affect them at all.
No.
Now there's the top percent. Now age group categories, they do a online qualifier after the Open anyway. Mm-hmm. So I believe that stays the same for them.
Okay.
So it really only affects the people who would maybe be good enough to go to regionals but didn't have a shot in hell at going to the games.
Yeah.
Those are the people, right? You get that, so you say whatever, that's the, whatever, maybe 1,000 people per country, you know, or 1,000 people in the U.S. who really kind of feel that, like, I got a shot at, maybe more than that, a couple thousand people feel like they got a shot at regionals, but there's no way in hell they get number one, you know? Now here's, in their country. Now here's another side, though, is some events use the Open as their qualifier. So I don't remember which one it is, but there's one event.
So where you place in the Open dictates if you're even allowed to go to this regional event.
Which makes a lot of sense. Like you take Wadapalooza.
So there's an incentive right there.
Yeah. So you take Wadapalooza for example, and they already do an online qualifier to qualify to go to Wadapalooza. They may still do that. There's benefits and reasons why doing that would help you, but some competitions won't do that. They'll just go off your Open score. And in fact, I think I saw there's one competition in particular that's set up to where it's a bracket style. So you do all the workouts in like a 4-hour time frame, and it's a sectional, like they're using it for a qualifier for the games. Do all the workouts in like a 4-hour time frame, and you go head to head. So with this heat of 16 people, but they're all paired up, whatever, like bracket style, or maybe it's just 16, just the top 8 move on, the bottom 8 drop out, done. And you do it like that until the end, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I believe for that, though, how they seed people, because you would need, for that type of a setup, you'd want it seeding, because you don't want the 2 best guys going against each other in the first round. That doesn't make sense. So they're going to use their scores in the Open to seed them. Huh. Which makes sense.
No, it does.
Because they're all the same workouts.
I just, from what I've been hearing, you know, putting my ear to the streets.
Yeah, you got to keep
around the local CrossFit scene is that, you know, everybody's talking about saving their money this year and they're not even bothering signing up.
Yeah.
And they're just going to participate, but from what I've been heard and from what I've been hearing,
yeah,
it's just going to be a lot less. Usually people are always like, yeah, I'll still do it, you know, I'll still pay, I get it. But this year's different.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a lot of the opposite.
This morning I talked to a guy who owns a gym. Relatively small gym. They have about 50 members. Mm-hmm. And he just wrote on the board a week ago, hey, Open's coming up. Write your name down if you signed up. And they've got 25 people signed up. It's trying half the gym aren't signed up for it ahead of time.
Nice.
Just I think they like comparing themselves against each other.
For sure.
And like it's one of those things too, $20. If you're doing the workouts, maybe it's like this, like, oh, I'm going to do the workouts anyway, because most of the time, like, the gym will do it on Friday or something, right? Or, like, that's just a class workout. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do them anyway. Well, if I don't sign up, I might only do 3 or 4 of them. And if I miss it 1 or 2, no big deal. But this is like the motivation. If I sign up, I'm going to make sure I do all 5. And then I put the scores in. You know, I think people like that kind of people like commitment. People act like they don't like commitment. But people actually are drawn towards commitment. Mm-hmm. Why do you think everybody gets fucking married? Yeah. You know? It's like there's something about humans.
You don't have to.
No.
You can be in the same
common
relationship.
Law, all that, yeah.
Like, but it's the...
it's something in human nature.
It holds you accountable.
Like, yeah, people like commit. There's a certainty with it, and there's an accountability aspect to it. And so I'd be interested, I am interested to see how it turns out. I wouldn't be surprised if registration is down slightly, but I don't
I think it
there's
has
like a huge drop off.
I think it has to be slightly down. I think it does, just because of the regional thing, and that just whether it mattered or not to people, it's just an easier way for them to just not do it.
You feel like it, yeah.
Like, yeah, well, they're not doing the regionals and this and that, so I'm not even going to do it. You know, those people that are like those mid-level people that are maybe even think that they're better than they are, but like, you know what I mean? Like, this gives them another out.
Yeah.
So you're going to lose a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, it's actually beneficial because they don't have to fake an injury.
That's fuck.
Normally, what happens?
That's the move.
And
it's funny because everybody does it.
The third workout, they know there's no way they're gonna make it. So all of a sudden, like sometime midweek between the third and fourth workout, fucking pulled a hammy, almost pulled it right off.
I actually did fuck up my shoulder one year. I wasn't going to make it either, and
that's why you got hurt.
Well, no, I did get hurt for real.
Quote.
But I knew that everybody's first thought is gonna be I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But no, I legitimately jacked up my shoulder doing these snatches that I was not ready for.
Dino. Look at this jabroni.
Because I'll be the first person to say, oh yeah, that person's faking injury because they don't want to finish. But then it happened to me and I could not do it.
Once he realized that he wasn't going to make regionals, all of a sudden he pulls up lame because then he could say, oh, well, I would have.
Yeah, God. But there's a crazy amount of that going on. But
people are funny, man.
It's funny. But you know, I think back to what you were saying earlier. I think doing it and actually signing up and paying is good because it does hold you accountable. It's easy to quit something if you have no skin in the game. You have no if you just have a verbal commitment, there's no like physical commitment or like, you know, your money. You know, you work hard for that money. Like, you know, like you're just gonna throw a $20 bill down the toilet.
When you look at it from CrossFit's perspective, also, like, what is the drop off? I mean, if you know, I mean, we throw out the random number of 100,000, but I don't think that's unrealistic for what it costs to host those releases, right?
I'll guarantee you that it is very close to that.
And so
within $10,000 to $20,000, which could be 2 pieces of equipment rent for the day.
Yeah. So if you're talking about they do that 5 weeks in a row, I mean, you're looking at $500,000, right? $500,000. Well, at $20 a person. You know, like how many people would have to drop off for that to be cost effective just not to do the announcements also? You know, so they go, hey, look, if we do this format, maybe whatever, 20,000 fewer people don't sign up. Well, if we lose 20,000 people signing up, that's $20 a person, that's $400K. Well, look, if we don't do these open announcements, we can save $500K right there.
That's probably exactly.
We're still up.
That's probably the perfect wash.
Yeah.
That's probably kind of what's happening.
Well, I'll tell you right now, based on complete assumptions on everything we're talking about, I'm going to say it's fact.
Well, the math makes sense.
Right.
And it sounds totally realistic. Like being, you know, in business and knowing kind of how things operate, that could easily have been a conversation.
Oh, I'm sure. Also they just did another round of layoffs.
Yeah, man, everybody's doing big layoffs. A lot of startup companies.
Well,
CrossFit
just did another set now. It's third time they've done a little round of layoffs since the games last year. So I think it also
just kind of shows you how many people.
Estimates are like 100. They laid off like 100 people from the games last year till now.
Wow.
Based on that, it is based on a report from the Morning Chalk Up.
Yeah.
So that's
a really good place for actual facts.
So that's not just me making up numbers like the rest of everything was.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's wild. But you know, then again though, like that's how things go when you got different directions. It just causes change.
You know what else is newly announced while we're on the CrossFit competition scene is they're going to start licensing the CrossFit name for events.
Oh wow! So you can start actually calling your event a CrossFit event,
right? Instead of having
fitness event,
right? So instead of you host a local competition, you call it, hey, it's a fitness.
But if you're
competition,
if it's at a CrossFit gym, then it is a CrossFit competition, right?
No, if it's at a CrossFit gym, it's still just a competition. It's hosted at CrossFit Excel or whatever, but it's just we're doing a. I don't know the legalities around that. I'm not going to pretend like I do. I don't think, but you can't call it like the CrossFit. I don't know if you could use the name of your gym in it or not. Like I don't know how that works.
Because I was under the impression, I'm not a gym owner, but I was under the impression that part of your dues that you're paying annually to CrossFit, you would be able to use the name CrossFit if you were to host local competition.
I don't know.
I'm not saying that's true. I have no idea, but I would assume that would have been the case. But then again, you should never assume things. like that, because you never know. But
No, I think it's basically you can use the name. You can use CrossFit in the name of your facility and on marketing materials.
would that count as marketing materials though?
I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting.
But I don't think they. This is complete speculation, and I could look it up. I have an affiliate agreement to look at, but I don't think they would want that, because I wouldn't if I were them, because you have the CrossFit Games. You know, that's like the event. If these people are hosting, you know, local, and they call it the CrossFit Throwdown.
Yeah, you don't want people thinking it's branded. The
Correct.
brand is doing it, especially if it's someone gets hurt or it's poorly ran or
Right.
stealing people's money. I don't know.
Right. So
There's many
now-
things that can go wrong with that.
So now with their change of focus more on the kind of health type thing, and the CrossFit Games being a part of what they do, not like a main thing of what they do.
Not the main vision.
That they're going to start licensing it, so you could buy. And I don't know any details around this. It's just again what I've kind of read on the morning chalk up and what I've seen other places, is that you can just pay for whatever it is, a license, and then you could actually advertise your competition as a CrossFit competition. So and it has to be organized, and this makes sense, has to be organized and ran by an individual who has their CrossFit Level 1 certification.
Okay, which should.
So it makes, but it's like, okay, well, that makes sense. So you have some standards. It's like, okay, at least they can say, like, the person who organized and ran this
They've been trained
has been
by
trained.
CrossFit.
Correct. Yeah.
Which kind of protects them.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. That's. I mean, I'm surprised it took this long though.
Yeah.
But I wonder what that cost is. What that fee is.
I don't know. I sent an email to find out.
Basically, the entire cost
back.
of signups from the meet for their competition.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's and then, you know, obviously you gotta. Now here's the other question though: is now that that license is available, are they going to more actively pursue people who don't pay for that license but are advertising an event that use the term CrossFit?
I would assume so.
They should.
Yeah, because now you got to clean it up
Right.
to make people even consider paying. Because like,
Right.
oh, why would I pay if, you know, Tom and Jerry's CrossFit gym down the street's not paying?
I mean, you could just not use the word CrossFit in marketing it, but it's like one,
Well, yeah, and it's also
one
like-
time you slip and say it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I feel like most of these competitions, anyways, they don't really have the name in them, like, you know, Rookie
Well, I think
Rumble
even
or
you
something.
could say it's the Rookie Rumble, but you couldn't say it's a CrossFit competition. You'd have to say it's a fitness competition. I don't know if CrossFit Style's okay. I've used that before, but I never knew if that was acceptable or not. I just thought that it seemed reasonable, you know. But I don't know.
You just got to get creative with the name. Mm-hmm. Does like a Wadapalooza, do they call it CrossFit? Do they call it? I know that's a big event. It's sponsored.
No.
I wonder if like, is there CrossFit anywhere in that name ever?
This year, I think they marketed it as a cross because it's a CrossFit sanctional event. But previously, no, I don't think they ever said it's a.
It's just Wadapalooza.
It's Wadapalooza.
It's all
Fitness festival.
You got to make the branding on you. It's kind of like your responsibility, right? To
So
make
what
the
kind of
unique
competition is it?
Group fitness.
Fitness.
Fitness comp.
Fitness competition?
Fitness. It's a fitness
testing.
exposition.
Testing to find the. But you can't use the words. You probably still can't. But I remember seeing like you can't use the term like fittest on earth. Like they have trademarks and all that shit.
Fittest in Florida.
Fittest in Florida. Trying to find the. I don't know.
What if we did fittest on flat Earth?
Oh shit. That'd be good. And then you could just go.
Totally troll them.
I was gonna say you could troll the whole thing, fittest on flat Earth, and you could talk about. You could have like Booth talk about global warming is a myth. Mm-hmm. You just go over all kinds of stuff like that. Like
It's all conspiracy related things.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Froning's actually part cyborg.
Yeah, man.
Interesting. So there's a lot of changes going down this year, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Opens coming up from when this is coming out, probably the next week.
This week,
Yeah.
because they're coming out next week.
Oh yeah, it'll be
So
this
week.
This will be the week it comes out.
We
Thursday.
should give a teaser and talk about more stuff we don't really know exactly details around or if it's going to happen for sure, and talk about the Nitro cold brew we might do.
Yeah, that's a thing.
So we've done Nitro cold brew with our coffee before at events and sold them there, but we are now. We can even go in a little bit. There's actually a brewery, microbrewery nearby, right down the street, and they've used the Cappuccino's coffee.
Very popular brewery, actually.
Yeah, they've used our coffee in some of their beers, and they've entered in different competitions and medaled in different beer competitions with the coffee beer using Cappuccino's coffee. Couple brewers actually. There's a brewer in South Carolina that's used our coffee in a coffee beer as well.
That's right.
So, and a couple homebrewers. One guy brought up some homebrew beer to me one time in a bottle that he used PR blend with.
Oh, there was for sure urine in there.
Oh, yeah. No, well, I hope so. And so, anyway, so we are currently talking about getting that done. Within the next couple months here, we might actually have some canned.
Yep.
And so we wouldn't
Nitro.
be shipping that out nationwide or worldwide or anything, but
That would be in
local
stores.
Sacramento area.
At first, yeah.
At first, kind of see how it goes.
Yeah.
If you like that idea, if you are interested, if you would be interested in consuming some Caffeine Kilos Nitro cold brew, send us an email. Let us know if we should pursue that or not.
Yeah.
Podcast at caffeineandkilos.com.
Hopefully soon there'll be the day, you walk into Whole Foods, grab your Nitro Caffeine and Kilos cold brew, your overpriced salad.
Chug it, put it back in the fridge, grab another one.
Yep. One for the road.
One for the road.
Yeah, so that's the next direction, I guess, that we're trying to maybe consider.
Pursuing that. Let us know your thoughts.
Let us know.
Should I just do a brief overview of the story of how I was a piece of shit the other day and then felt bad?
Yeah, you could. Where we at on time?
26.
Huh.
So I'm talking about getting a new car. I'm driving. I see this car. It's this looks really great shape. Stop, look at it. The year's a little older than I wanted. All right, there's no two. It's a Mercedes wagon. I'm talking about getting a station wagon because we're kids now, and station wagons are dope. So I take it home for my wife to check it out. Feast your eyes on this thing because it's 02, but it only has 56,000 miles.
That's pretty rare.
So yeah, maybe we'll. And the thing is pristine. It looks like it's straight off the lot.
Shining.
So get it home. She's looking at it. She drives around the block. She leans over the passenger seat, puts her hand like kind of on the back of the passenger seat, and this plastic panel just fucking falls right off.
Just snaps off.
Well, it just like fell off.
Unbuckles.
Don't know what happened.
Unclips.
So you look, so from the back seat, like the back of the passenger seat, you just see right to the like mesh. And there's like some wires and stuff because it has like four
springs.
different lumbar supports and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's not good. So naturally, like human instinct, I'm like, I don't want to take this thing back to this guy with his panel off. Funny hindsight, like I definitely could have
If
just.
it came off that easy, I feel like it probably just came off before.
Yeah, definitely could have taken it back and been like, hey man, by the way, when we were looking around the car, this fucking panel came off. You know what I mean? Like, what's he going to say? But I'm like, oh, let me see if I can get this back on there. So I start to get it back on, and one of the plastic clips that holds it on just snapped off.
Inside of it?
Inside of it. And I was like, oh shit. Well, now I really don't want to take it back. Like, hey, this thing, because now it's not just like it fell off, like it's also broken. Like now it looks like it snapped off.
Yeah.
Really, it fell off and the thing snapped. I'm trying to fix it, but
Yeah.
it looks like you like were so aggressive with it, fucking snapped this thing right off.
Like you kicked it or ripped on it.
Kicked it or ripped on it or something.
Story's escalating.
Oh shit! My neighbor's out there.
Laughing.
Oh, she's like, "What's yeah? It's a whole thing." My wife's out there. My neighbor. It's a.
Oh, you're getting it from all ends.
No, I'm getting it from all ends. So then I'm like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. I see how this works. I see kind of how it gets back on there. So I kind of get it back where it's like almost on, and then pop. There's only two clips. The other one snaps off now. So now there's no clips holding on
So
the
you just
top.
got this piece of flat plastic. With
It's
no
just
clips.
piece of flat plastic, no clips, and like bolts in the bottom, but it needs these clips in the top to hold it in place. And I panic.
Sweating.
I'm like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Like, kind of laughing, but then also kind of like,
Oh,
shit,
fuck.
oh shit, no, like laughing just because like, no way, you know? So I take this dude's car in a test drive, break the back panel straight off this thing.
So he just let you take it?
Oh yeah,
Did you like take an ID or
Nah.
anything? You just like, all right.
yeah. He's in, like, you live in a town of 12,000 people. Some
All right,
dude,
he'll find you.
and the first time I stopped by, I had Nora in the back of my car, you know, like, oh, family, that's great.
That could be your
Talk
scam,
about
though.
family.
That could be your scam.
Yeah, that's true. So, well, I did leave my car there when I
Oh,
started.
okay, that makes
Right,
sense.
like I didn't. I thought of that. I was
Take
like,
an Uber there.
That's what I was. Yeah, I was like, I should have just rode my bike, parked it across the street, or parked across the street.
You
Anyway,
can have the bike.
so now here's the thing too: is also I've had this car for a while now, because not only I drove it home, my wife drove it around the block a few times. Then I've been back fucking up this seat for a while, trying to fix it. And so it's fun. My neighbor's like, what do you think he thinks you're doing with this thing right now? I'm like, I don't. He told me kind of push it. Maybe he thinks I took it on the freeway. I don't know what's going on. So I probably had a good 45 minutes. You know,
Oh yeah, you've been gone.
I've been gone for a while.
That's a long time.
And so, well, yeah, I'm
A
trying
typical
to.
test drive, 5-10 minutes.
5-10 minutes. Like, even if you bring it home, wife takes her on the block. Like, how long you spend with this thing? So now I'm sitting here.
Do your grocery shopping with it.
Yeah, I just needed the wagon.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Run your errands.
So I did something I'm ashamed of now, is I didn't know what to do. My neighbor shows up. She got some Velcro. And she's like, let's just Velcro this thing back on.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, yeah, let's do it.
Turned into like a stash spot.
Make it like new. That was my first thought when it came off. That came off pretty easy. Obviously, this guy was moving drugs in here.
Yeah.
You know?
Obviously, it's the only rational explanation.
Only rational explanation. So the Velcro didn't work, though, because the tape side would just slide right off the fabric. And I'm like, this isn't going to work. And so Jess ran in. My wife comes out some duct tape. So just making this clear, this wasn't like, I wasn't the only one involved with this. Like, we were all on the same page.
Yeah, you had accomplices.
What happened is everyone went into problem-solving mode. Like, oh, this thing snapped. Oh, man, what are we going to do? And so duct tape, and so I just like make little rolls of tape so on the inside. I wouldn't be able to tell. Like 10, 15 of these little rolls of duct tape, and just tape that shit back on.
Yeah.
And then drove it back to him like nothing happened. And then I pull up, and I go, hey man, he goes, oh, what do you think? We're going to pass on it.
Now, where would you have been if it wouldn't have fell off?
Well, honestly, if it wouldn't have come off, we probably would have bought it.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm telling you, it was like brand new. It looked good, low miles.
Drove good.
And also we were talking about just like, because the price was so good. Like, well, basically, like it's the same as what we sell my truck for. We'll just basically trade this for my truck, buy this, sell my truck, and then see, like, use it for a couple months and see if this is good enough or if we need something else. And if we need something else, no big deal. Like, it's not going to cost anything. It's just like swapping out the truck for it to try it, see if it'll work. Mm-hmm. But what it made us realize, it's actually a good thing that it did come off. So the way those plastics snapped off, it snapped off like 20-year-old plastic, right? And that's the whole thing is we're like, man, like everything else in this car is fucking
Sunburned
perfect.
plastic.
It was dope, dude. Like, I'm telling you, the center console, it had a flip phone. It had the original Mercedes phone.
Oh, built in.
And yeah, but it was like, you take it out though. So like 2002, if you bought a new Mercedes, $50,000 car, it came with a cell phone because cell phones were like new at that time.
So it was a branded Mercedes cell phone.
It was a branded Mercedes flip phone.
Oh, that's tight.
It was so
just
sick.
You leave that in there too.
Oh, of course. And so there's a clip. There's actually a clip that holds it in the center console, and it was in there.
Oh, that's tight.
And I'm like, well, it was the coolest part of the whole car.
Then you just get it activated as a burner.
Yeah, I don't even know if you could You just leave it in there, so anyone that gets in the car, you show it to them. Is what you do.
Well, let me grab the phone.
Yeah,
I'd probably if it was able to be hooked up, I would for sure have it hooked up.
Yeah, that's true.
The ironic part about that now is that it's illegal to talk on your phone in a car, where we used to sell cars with them built in.
I remember my grandparents had a car phone that had the wire.
Yeah, like a house phone.
Yeah, it was like that in their back in the day in their old Cadillac. But so anyway, and so I take it back. No, I don't want it. My wife decided like this is a little too old. We just don't want to get a 02. I know it has low miles. I know it's in great shape. All that. But just, we don't want to get something that's, whatever, 17 years old right now. It's just not, it's older than any other car we own.
Yeah.
Like, getting rid of another car, a newer one to buy this one, even with low miles.
It's older than both your kids combined.
Which is, yeah. And so, which is all true.
Times 2.
And then I'm driving away, and as I'm driving home, I'm just like, Lear, you are what a piece of shit. Like, what a piece of work you are. Like, this guy...
Such a nice guy.
What could you imagine? Okay, this guy sells it to somebody else, and then they on the way home they hit a bump and the thing fucking falls off, and it's duct taped on. They're gonna call him
Clark Griswold.
Be like,
vacation.
They're like, what's going on? And the thing's taped on. He's like, what are you talking about? Taped on? Nothing's taped. No, And what he's gonna assume it was like that before he bought it? Like, I don't know. And then or another thing is, what if it comes off on when he's driving a home or something, and then he sees it's taped on there and like, I didn't do it, and he's thinking clearly he didn't do that. Like, This was obviously, it's pretty easy to connect those dots there if he doesn't drive that car often and he's had it a while. And anyway, so I'm just like, but then on the flip side, if it was my car and it broke off like that, the way we taped it on, you would never know. Like, you could not tell. If it was my own car, I would probably do that and then see if that worked. And then if it was like coming off or if that wasn't working, then I would like replace it.
At that point, you probably just take some like Gorilla Glue, right?
If it was my car, I'd probably just glued it back on. Yeah. That's the truth. And I thought about gluing his on, and then I was like, I can't like Gorilla Glue this guy's seat. So I just duct taped it.
I just don't get how the duct tape didn't like have it sticking out.
The way it's designed, like there's these rails inside that it's like, it kind of, Yeah, I didn't go on the very edge. I put the duct tape in a couple inches, and so when it would stick on there, it worked.
Yeah, I can't imagine it, but I'm sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, it
And
worked.
plus, I mean, the duct tape. I mean, it wasn't like a ball of it. It was just like a little tape roll, and you get that real flat in there. Anyway, it totally worked.
Yeah.
So I felt like a piece of shit, and then I even told my wife later. I'm like, she's like, you tell him? I was like, no. And you know what? I'm not proud of it either. And she's like, yeah. And like, she was starting to have second thoughts. Now, she was all in at the time. We all were.
It's easy in the moment.
The group mentality. There's 3 or 4 of you. It's like this. It was a sitcom.
It's like I don't know this guy. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, one thing kept leading to the next thing. Oh, now this thing snapped. What do you do? You're in problem-solving mode. Of course, you try to fix it. And then, so anyway, the next morning, actually, before I came into work, I drove by to see if he was down there, and the car was there. And so I was like, I gotta tell him.
Plastic was on the on the back seat.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck, I do not want to do this. I'm like, whatever. I gotta do it. I'm not a coward. Gotta do it. Stop by. I'm like, hey, dude. He's like, hey, you changed your mind? I'm like, well, about that. Let me talk to you. Come on.
Actually, the opposite. I actually ruined your car and then duct taped it.
Can I talk to you for a minute? Yeah. So, you know how it's gone an inordinate amount of time for a test drive for someone that doesn't want a car?
Yeah, I thought about that.
Yeah, I thought about that. I figured you guys were... I thought you guys threw mattresses in there.
Maybe you guys were having sex in it.
Yeah. They're checking out the cushion in the back seat. Anyway, I'm like, yeah, dude, and I kind of tell him what went down. I was like, hey, I didn't give him like full detail. I said, hey, that back panel, seriously, my wife just like touched it, it fell off, and so trying to get back on, and one of the clips broke, but I got it back on there, but like one of those clips definitely snapped, and like so he's like, you're a good guy. Have a nice day. And I'm like, nah, man, like I feel bad about it. I wanted to stop by to tell you because I feel like a piece of shit for not telling you yesterday. So I just I want to make sure you know. And like also, dude, like if you have to replace the whole panel, I'm sure that shit's not cheap. If you ever replace the whole panel, like, dude, let me know, like I'll whatever, like, and I'll pay for part of it or something like that. And he goes, have a nice day. Like, pat me on the back, like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah. It sounds like it's been falling off for years.
Yeah, bro. Or I think he just, like, really, it wasn't, like, to him, like, he didn't notice.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're fine, man.
He's just happy you were honest about it.
Yeah.
It's usually honesty is the best policy.
And it's the funny thing. It's like that whole deal of, because, like, what was I worried about telling him anyway? What, that he's upset? Like, you can't control how someone else reacts. You can only control your actions. You know what
you did was you basically made it the hardest you could possibly have made it on yourself.
That's exactly what happened.
Not on the guy.
No,
not
at all.
Live with that guilty conscience until you forget about it.
I should have just returned it how it was and been like, hey, dude, this is exactly what happened. And you tell the complete truth, and you can't control how they react. He reacts however he reacts.
Like, actually, you know what? I took it for a drive, and I was moving the seat around. This thing fell off.
That's exactly what happened. Then,
I don't want it, partially because of that, but you might want to get that fixed.
Exactly. or say I was trying to put it back on, and I snapped those clips off like I did.
Yeah.
But I took it back to him like that.
Yeah.
That's the exact story. Hey, dude, I was driving this thing around. We're moving the seats around, and that thing fell off. I was trying to fix it. When I tried to fix it, the clip snapped off. Dude, I'm sorry. If you might need to get a new, like, here's $40 if you need a new clips or if you need to get a new panel. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I was trying to fix it when it happened. I apologize.
I'm sure he just super glued it back on.
Well, he probably
really glued it.
He probably didn't do jack shit because looking at it, you can't tell anything's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he probably didn't even know.
He probably lowered the price to get that thing moving out the door quicker.
Yeah. Yeah, someone will buy it and they'll be trying to stash their drugs in it, and they won't be able to get it off because it's Gorilla Glued.
Man, what a mess.
Yeah. Hey, but you did the right thing at the end of the day. That's all that matters.
I told Jess, said, hey, Brightside, it gave me an opportunity to stop and talk to someone that I really did not want to talk to, and I feel like that's character building.
No, it is, and you'll probably just be more honest next time with something else like that.
You know what's funny is I thought I was past that stage in my life.
You know what? It was probably the group convincing didn't help.
Yeah.
Not trying to blame it on something, but like you got a bunch of people telling like, no, it'll be fine.
Well, I'm like, let me go get the Velcro.
And it's on, and everybody's laughing, kind of, and then you're like,
that's exactly what
happened. And then you're alone driving back, and you're like, oh man,
shit.
I probably should have told him.
That's exactly how it went down.
That's easier. It's not like you were on your own, brought it home by yourself, like no one was around, like it broke off, and you tried to do it, and then you brought it back. That would be a little harder to do.
You know what's funny too is like my wife, I tell her, I'm like, yeah, stop. Told her, she's like, oh, good. I was kind of thinking about it too. And then I see my neighbor. He goes, hey, how'd it go yesterday? How'd the return end up? And I was like, you know what? It was fine. I didn't say shit. And then this morning I felt bad. I actually stopped by and told him. And he goes, yeah, it's probably for the better.
Everybody knew.
Everybody knew. But at the time, everybody was in on it.
Because it seemed like not that big of a deal.
Like my neighbor, the husband and wife next door, all four of us were in on this plan. It was a full on thing. And then afterwards, everyone's like they're really nice people, and everyone's kind of thinking, they're like,
yeah,
that's not.
That's usually how it happens, right? You do something, and then like the regret comes later.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
if I was young, when I was younger, not that this makes it right, but if I was 19 years old, whatever, 22 still, like that's just that.
Yeah, probably.
But like now, that's just not a part of my life anymore. Like I don't do those things. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I try to treat people the right way and do the right thing, and like. Anyway, yeah.
That's funny.
So there, confession.
Yeah, there it is. At the end of the day, it was a happy ending.
Oh man.
But
well, there we go. Next time you test drive a car, if you break something, just fucking bring it back. Let them know what happened.
it's a good lesson.
Lesson for the day.
It's a good lesson.
Right.
And also sign up for the Open and hold yourself accountable.
Hold yourself accountable. There it is. Send us an email, podcast@caffeineandkilos.com. If you are interested, you think we should do canned Nitro cold brew.
Yeah, let us know.
All right, this has been Gas Station Cappuccino.